Today's question reads, after 3 years, I still ruminate. I have good days and bad days, but will I ever get over the pain, anger, and resentment to my ex-husband for forcing me and our daughter into single parent life? I am a different mom now, a sad, exhausted mom to a now 8-year-old. Also, as I turn 50 this year, I feel like I am not desirable. First, my husband skips out on me for a younger woman without even so much as a counseling session. I feel invisible to men. I'm a single mom with responsibilities and I have trust issues. I guess I wonder how much your remarriage and feeling valued by someone else has helped overcome the pain of what your first husband did. Also, did your ex-husband and his other partner stay together? Has he ever reached out to you? Ooh, well, my heart goes out to you. Being a single parent is absolutely one of the hardest jobs out there. And as I've said, I don't have children, so I can't relate, but I can absolutely empathize. And I know that seeing the pain in your child is about the worst thing that a parent can ever go through. And I think that does change things. I know my parents divorced when I was around your daughter's age. And I know that my mom still hurts for what I went through as a child because of my dad leaving. Even though I'm okay with it, she still carries some of that with her because she saw what it did to her child. And I would expect that you have that same feeling. And also right now with that pain, the anger, the resentment, right now you are in the thick of it. You are having to be full on parent all of the time. And that is hard and exhausting work. You're probably in somewhat of survival mode right now, is what my guess would be. And in all of that, yeah, it's hard to let go of those feelings because all you can do is think about you shouldn't be in the place that you are in, and it's not fair and it's not okay. And you may look at the life that he has and you're contrasting it with what you have, and his seems so much easier and more carefree than where you are. So what I want you to do is really focus on some of the blessings that you do have. You have that relationship with your child, and that is such a special thing. And because of what you have been through, your bond with your child is even closer than it would be otherwise. And I know that this isn't the life that you wanted for her. I know it's not the life that she wanted for you. But right now, you guys are forging into this world together. You are teaching her how to be an independent, badass woman. And even though it's not what you wanted, that's still pretty cool. Now, it sounds like maybe you've been in this survival mode for quite a while now, where you're feeling more like mom and you're not feeling like yourself. And so whenever you are able, I would love for you to find something to tap into your sense of self, your sense of purpose, your sense of joy again. Maybe it's some hobby that you used to do when you were a child that you've let go. Maybe it's some sort of artistic expression or movement. Whatever it is, finding that again, even just for a few minutes a week, will help you reconnect with life and take you out of the just exhaustion and drudgery of the day-to-day. You also talk about not feeling desirable. And I'd absolutely get that. I think as women, we so easily shift into that caregiver mode. And let's face it, there is nothing less sexy in the world. And so anything you can do to help you get back in touch with your body, even just doing some deep breathing and some meditation, just for that grounding and that centering again, can actually go quite a long way into just helping you remember that, yeah, I am a whole person. I have a body. I have desires. I have wants. I have needs. Just getting back in touch with that and getting away from that full caretaker role all day, all the time. That feeling of being undesirable is way more about what's happening in our heads than how we present on the outside. When we feel good about ourselves, no matter how we look, others are going to be drawn to us. No matter how old we are, no matter how many wrinkles we have, The people in our lives that care for us, they see through all of that. Now, it sounds like you might be worried about not finding somebody who is willing to take you on with your child and your trust issues and your responsibilities. And what I want to tell you is none of those things is too big for the right person. And let's face it, once we reach a certain age, I don't think any of us goes into a new relationship without a ton of responsibilities, a bunch of baggage, and probably some trust issues too. So don't let that fear hold you back. So on a recent video, I also addressed the question about if my now husband relieved the pain of what my ex did. I'm going to speak a little bit more about that. So the short answer to that is no. They're basically two completely separate things. But what I also want to make clear is if you're going into a relationship where you are feeling unworthy, where you're feeling like you're not enough, it doesn't matter what that person does or what that person says, it's never going to fill you. It's basically like you're this colander full of holes and they can just pour and pour and pour love into you and it just drains right out again. That's why we talk about that you have to love yourself first. You have to believe in your worth first, because otherwise you're going to be seeking that from somebody else and they just cannot give that. And what some of you may realize is that there's a definite correlation between how you feel about yourself and the quality of people that you end up inviting into your life. So then you asked about my ex-husband. So I do know that the courts ordered him to get a divorce from his other wife, but I also know that at the time of our divorce, which was 8 months after he left, that had not been done. So at that point, they were together. Now, up until that point, I had been voraciously reading her blog in order to keep tabs on them. But I made a very conscious decision to no longer look. So at that point, I don't know what happened. He has never reached out to me. I don't expect that he ever will. He did, for some reason, comment one time on one of my Huffington Post blogs, which was very odd. And the reason that I know it was him is that it was the same email address that he had when we were married. So that was a little bit disconcerting. And then, as I mentioned in a previous video, I saw him about 4 years post-divorce with a woman in a park. I don't know if it was her. I had no contact with him. So at this point, I really don't expect to ever hear from him again. It's been 12 years now and nary a word. So my guess is it'll continue that way. And I just want to leave you with this, that the way that you feel right now, that sad, exhausted, beat down mom, you're not going to feel that way forever. Things will change. Life does move on. Your daughter is going to become more and more independent, giving you more and more opportunity to get back in touch with you. And I really do believe that you will have happy days around the bend.